Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 9x90. Today, we have a very special guest with us. We have Trish Kane. For those of you who do not know her, she has a miraculous survival and personal rebirth story. In 2014, she was found unresponsive with a dangerously low body temperature at 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So for those of you who are in the medical space, you're wondering how she's still alive. A lot of us wanted to know the answer to that. So she was resuscitated twice. She endured a 9-day coma and survived 2 strokes. She had to after all of this, she had to relearn how to walk, talk, and feed herself, emerging not just recovered, but transformed, igniting her mission in holistic healing. In 2020, she founded Healerverse. Stop laughing at me. a 5D Healerverse. She's laughing at me. This is going to be really hard to read. She's laughing at me.
It's a lot. I'm smiling. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm happy
they're not used to seeing me as in reporter mode. Okay. In 2020, she founded Healerverse, aka 5D Healerverse, a decentralized SaaS marketplace and ticketing platform uniting spiritual healers and seekers globally. The platform offers virtual in-person events, practitioner tools, secure booking, and transparency across a $6 trillion plus wellness industry. Trish is recognized keynote speaker on decentralized and healing tech, launching her book Divine Intervention and debuting it at high-profile events such as Miami Swim Week, because hello, we're here in Miami and we love Swim Week. She champions Web3 adoption in wellness and empowers healers to own and monetize their practice. And if you're wondering where all this brilliance came from, her father is also a titan in investment banking. Yeah. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And honestly, I promise I wasn't laughing at you. I'm really happy to be here with you. I've been on a lot of podcasts because of my story and a lot of stages, and this one feels special. We met a couple of months ago, and I absolutely thought you were incredible from the start. We definitely have a similar, just kind of way about us that we're, good around people, but also like to go create. Go create, go build, and then be like, here, world, here everything is. And you definitely shared my story on hit the nail on the head. So thank you for that. And, in 2014, I wasn't in a good place. And when all that happened, I didn't know that was going to happen to me. And I think a lot of us never think that things like that, tragic things aren't going to happen to us. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me. It changed everything. And I actually, when I went through some kind of a tunnel, I came out of my body and I saw my feet and my legs and they were blue, but I did not know that they were my feet and my legs. And then, and there was other people there, when I went a little further. And when I woke up from the 9-day coma, I remember the doctors taking the tube out of my throat and saying, "Do you know where you are?" And I looked around and I said, "Hospital." And the doctor went, he was shocked that I was answering. And I was shocked that he was shocked that I was answering. And I didn't really know what happened. I just knew that whatever that experience was that I had with the woman who died in the experience that I had was the most profound thing I've ever experienced and the realest thing I've ever experienced. I didn't know that was me. I stayed up for days after in the hospital, and they did put me in that MRI machine, and they found out I had 2 strokes, bilateral watershed strokes in the frontal cortex. And my left eye didn't move back and forth. This whole side of my face was droopy. And I had to quite literally learn how to do everything again. Oftentimes I get asked, how long did it take? That's a pretty common question. Honestly, some stuff took days, some things took months, and some took years. Years later, I went back to the ophthalmologist, and I think it was probably 5 years later. And the ophthalmologist was like, "You have perfect vision." Like the vision in my left eye, I couldn't see out of the left side. Like I had no peripheral vision and it was back. Like that's a miracle, you know?
God.
Yeah.
God. I'm like, my sister, I was telling you, she had brain surgery, and afterwards she didn't have to learn how to like walk and talk again, but she did have to learn basic things. Like I would ask her what 1+1 was, and she was 18 years old. And I was living in Italy at the time. I flew back so I could be a blood donor if anything happened, like when people were
Aw.
doing surgery. Oh yeah, yeah. And then afterwards, she was just like, we had to teach her all these basics again. It was wild. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough. And then also some days you push a little bit harder and some days you go easier. When I'm really tired, I still slur my words a little bit when I'm really tired. And I don't know if that's just because I'm a female founder in the tech space.
Oh my God. Don't even get me
Yeah.
started on deprivation.
Or if that's some of the aftermath of what happened. But since then, I mean, I've done triathlons, marathons. I was invited to compete for Spartan in Greece because I did the trifecta and I came in like the top 5%, I guess, worldwide. And like all these other like things that, yeah, I got a master's degree after that. Like it was harder for me to study, but it worked. And I feel like if anybody takes anything out of this today, out of my story, just know that one, there's more out there, and to have hope that like if I can do all the things I've done in the last 10 and a half years, that anybody can literally do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You have to meet. I just had another guest on the show, Angela Goran.
Okay.
She's a retired professional athlete who
Wow.
built a fintech company. Another blonde female founder. But I feel like
Wow.
if you're doing triathlons and all those things that I cannot do, you guys should definitely meet. I could never be a triathlete. I tore all 3 ligaments in my knee. There's no running for me. I'll run in my head.
Listen, I'm not saying I did well. The triathlon I didn't train for. So like I was really fit.
Oh my God, what?
I was really fit because I was doing CrossFit at the time and I just showed up. And I figured if I swam on swim team as a kid and biked around the neighborhood that I'd be fine. And that wasn't the case. So the ocean was so choppy that day and they just never came out to rescue me. I was like drowning. So no, but I did really
That's how I would do a triathlon.
I did really well in the Spartan because that was more like, but not the triathlon. I'm a little crazy, I guess. Like that wasn't the most brilliant idea, but definitely brave. But I thought it would be fine. And I'm still here to talk about it,
I would not survive this one.
It was very choppy out there, and I really it was scary.
You had
It
like
was
200 people swimming.
Yeah, I waited for other people so I didn't get kicked too. Because I figured as long as I just like do this, I didn't want to come in last, and I probably came in like the bottom 15%, but I still finished. And also, thank God for the running part because I was good at that part. But I haven't done like that type of activities since I really went like 100% into female founder mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love that. Well, I biked around as a kid. I have to try this.
I know. I really thought that would be okay. But it's one of those things, like I think blind faith gets us far,
Oh, it does. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've definitely in this. Yeah. I remember when I applied to work with Apple, I didn't realize that everything I had done working with like Porsche, Whole Foods, Target, and Disney was impressive. And I didn't realize that managing sales for Apple was impressive. So I didn't realize like how crazy it was what I was asking to be put in charge of. It was like, yeah, I think I could do this. Thank God I doubled their sales in a year. But later people were like, you were 20 something when you applied to do something that people do in their 50s. It was like, yeah, about that. I don't know. I biked around the neighborhood. I'm good.
It's amazing. Anybody that comes into contact with you is seriously blessed.
You too. But I think that that'll be our new inside joke. It's like when we're doing something, we're like, I'm way underqualified, but I'll try it. I biked around the neighborhood. So your miraculous recovery was a life-altering turning point. How has that deep personal transformation shaped your vision for building a decentralized healing platform like Healerverse?
Yeah, so 2014, all of that happened, and I recovered, and then come 2020, I was working for Informa in sales at Taylor and Francis, selling digital databases and digital content to the government, the military, and universities. I was, yeah. So I was doing, my territory was the southeast of the U.S. and the customer knew way more about my product than I did. I just traveled around and went to like all these universities, and like it was really nice, and it was kind of nice to just go and to travel and just be myself. And 2020 hit, and I knew that something different was needing to happen within my life. And I broke my shoulder when I was hiking in the woods with my dog, and still trying to do workouts and stuff after, but my arm wouldn't go up. And then the doctor was like, wow, like your arm went back together. Like I've never seen this. Usually people need surgery, but I was still doing like CrossFit, like, putting heavy things over my head. So I think I put it back together, but it was so painful. And then I did this meditation, and I just kind of like heard, like, you don't have to do what you've been doing anymore. It's time for a change, and I knew what that meant. I knew that I was supposed to like stop being so much in my masculine and doing all these like crazy heavy lifts and stuff just to prove that I'd recovered physically from what I went through and where I was before that in the dark place, but that I was supposed to do something different, like for humanity, and I didn't know what it was. So I flipped my house in Colorado, and I moved cross country. I mean, in Florida, in Delray, and I moved cross country to Colorado, and I resigned from corporate America, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, I know, like, just energetically that you need to make space for new to come in order for it to come in. It's not like you just keep replacing things, like one thing with the next. You need to like take a step back and be like, all right, what's next? Yeah. And the idea just came to me. I couldn't find any practitioners. I really enjoy energy work. Like I like to receive like Reiki and like massage and stuff. And I'm in Colorado. It's like known for this. Can't find any practitioners on Google. Can't find anything. So I'm like, that's
in Colorado. You can't.
No, I couldn't find anything. Yeah, in Denver, when I was living in Denver. So I'm like, that's weird. And at this time, there was like a lot of other like things happening with practitioners on other platforms, like, the Meta platforms and the YouTubes, that they're not set up for this industry, the well-being industry. They're a lot more generous now, but like they were fearless and not allowing a lot of marketing and just sharing openly at this time about different things that can help. So I basically had the idea, why don't I build a platform that supports practitioners and the well-being space? Everything is fragmented in this space, and there's not like a platform for spiritual and holistic healing and all this. And biohacking was not even a thing back then, Oh
my God. Yeah.
I mean, even if it was, it's not like it is today. Like AI was a thing 15 years ago. Nobody was talking about it. And now that's the thing, So like,
my software company, that trains junior marketers and spits out strategies, I built it before ChatGPT, and it was like revolutionary, crazy. And now people are like, oh, it's just like ChatGPT, except like only international best marketers are populating the database. But yeah, it's funny. And then with biohacking, I remember I've been doing ice baths since like college.
Wow.
And then biohacking people came out, and people were like, oh, do you ice bath? Do you ice bath? And it was like, I've been doing that for over a decade, almost. Yeah, of course.
You're the trendsetter. Yeah.
No, I was not like bragging about it at all. My roommates would come in and talk to me while I was torturing myself in the ice bath.
Oh.
And they were like, yeah, our roommate's crazy. After she trains, because I was a professional ballerina at the time, they were like, after she trains, she sits in the ice bath and makes us talk to her so the bath passes faster.
That's smart. No, that's really like, yes, that's a good roommate right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had 4 of them. So they would rotate who sat and chatted with me while I was in my like leotard and tights covered in ice.
Wow. That's amazing, especially for a ballerina, because man, yeah,
Well,
you don't realize how
I
much
had
of your
to-
body
I
you're
had-
using.
Yeah, so I like if you were a principal, you were performing like, I don't know, 70% of the show. If you were in the core, you were performing for maybe 20, 30 minutes. But if you were principal or above, so that meant like you were a soloist or like one of the like lead people in a tutu, you were dancing for like 70 to 90 minutes. But they also like, they would have us do a rehearsal for like 8 to 12 hours. And then the final dry run. And then the next day we had to start performing. We were doing 2 performances a day. The only way you could walk after an 8 to 12-hour rehearsal was if you had taken an ice bath the day before. Like, everyone who didn't take an ice bath was like, how are you walking, let alone performing? Like, you had to.
Yeah,
But,
no, that's brilliant. Did you do point?
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
actually, so this is the funny thing. I did point for so many years that I'm actually worse at dancing not on point.
I used to walk around my neighborhood. You could tell I'm from Long Island, New York, by the way I say walk. But I used to walk around the neighborhood in my point shoes. I thought they were so cool. And like I would put on my point shoes and literally walk around the neighborhood, like over the, speed bumps in the neighborhood and everything.
Like with point shoes, it's so much easier. Like, okay, if you have to do a triple or quadruple pirouette on point shoes, you can do that. And
Yes.
if you have to do a triple or quadruple pirouette and you're on flats, like you really need a lot of momentum to get going with that. Or like,
now you see why I can't wear heels. Like, because literally my feet are so like precious to me now because
oh my God. I didn't even think about
those
that.
gel pads. Remember the gel pads in the toe? I liked those better than the wool. Yeah.
I'm super, super, super specific about the heels that I'll wear. And people will be like, what's wrong with that pair of shoes? And I'm like, it has the metatarsal hitting in the wrong way. And they're like, that is ultra specific. Because, like they expect if you're like a blonde woman, you'll be like, that shoe's pretty, I'll wear it. But like, they don't expect you to be like so specific about your foot health. I had some guys at the gym were making fun of me because, the booties that you wear for warm up, they look like winter boots. And so I would wear those every time I was doing a leg workout and foot workout. I'd come to the gym in the booties. And then once my whole body, like my lower body was warmed up, I'd switch into my workout shoes. And they were making fun of me for it. And so I very calmly, I was like, how many feet are in the human body? Or how many bones are in the human body? And they were like, 104. And I was like, how many bones are in the foot? They're like, I don't know. And it was like 26. It's like, so more than 52 bones are in your feet alone. And you want to make me for you not knowing. Yeah. You have 52 bones between your 2 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. Half of your bones in your body are in your feet. 85% of people over the age of 85 die from a simple slip and fall.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Your foot health is like so crucial and people just don't take it seriously. I could go on about foot health for hours, but let's get back to your.
No, I know. I love this sidetrack though, and I used to have muscles in my feet, but they're not there anymore.
It's harder when you get older. There's do you know the vibration plates?
Yeah.
I had to get one of those.
Oh, I have one. It's in the closet. I never use it. I should use that.
Pull it out, stand on it 10 minutes a day, because I got to the point. Yeah, I got to the point where it would hurt to walk in the morning until my feet were warmed up. And I was like, I am way too young to have like pre-arthritic symptoms, but your muscles prevent your bones from grinding and your joints from grinding. So you need to build up the muscles if things are hurting. So I got one of those plates and it went away. It's good.
Oh, I will. I'll bust that back out today after I get off the calls today. Definitely.
Yeah. Do it while you're on the phone. I'll do it while I'm on the phone. Mom, I love you. I'm talking to you while I'm on the vibration plate. That's what yeah. Do it with people who are okay with your voice.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'll just listen. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've woven blockchain into the fabric of healing. What role does decentralization play in giving practitioners control over their content and community within Healerverse?
So the difference between Healerverse and a lot of platforms is that I'm big on everybody owns their own content on Healerverse. Healerverse is not a blockchain tech, but we're going to be implementing crypto payments and doing some other fun things with crypto and that whole space. I started building the platform before like there was really as many blockchain developers. So, but it's okay because it's more relatable to everybody. And hopefully, like I just want to see what regulations come out within the Web3 and crypto spaces over the next even probably couple months. I know some people that are working on some of the regulations and writing that right now, since like really there was a lot of confusion when all of us started adopting crypto way back when, and they just kind of didn't know what to do with us. But really it comes down to like ownership, right? Like who owns the content? Like on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, they can just deplatform you if they don't like you and take away your business. On Healerverse, like I am like praying that I never have to take anyone down, especially the practitioners. Like really, like everybody owns their own content at least. So if they're going to get removed for any reasons that are against our legal privacy policy terms and conditions and standards and everything, we'll at least give them their content back, and we're not going to claim to own any of their content. It's really like a platform for purposes of people finding each other and supporting practitioners and coaches and whatnot.
That's huge. It's
huge. Really important, you know, and yeah, it is because like I said earlier, like I think they're being a little bit more kind to like this entire industry as a whole, like Meta and YouTube, but it's not there yet. And that's okay, because I basically just like built a platform for people to be able to find each other. Because also it's one of those things, like I like to spend time with a specific type of person and people and stuff. The conversation is different depending on who you spend time with. And like I like to have enlightened conversations about health, you know what I mean? Like different levels of like just conversations that don't really happen in other places. I'm able to translate those conversations to any sort of a group overall. But I think like the event that we just did in Miami last weekend is a perfect example of like the practitioners, and like a lot of them are doctors, and like what they're able to do, right? There's so much out there, and how do you find it? And then like events and courses and practitioners that can be trusted. Like, where do you find that?
Yeah. You know? I have a degree in medicinal biological chemistry. We're Jewish. We're into like the spiritual side of Judaism. So yeah, I get that. It is a very fragmented community, and you do have some crazy people in there that are just spewing things that are completely inaccurate, and then you have some very good people in there, and finding the good people is literally like a word of mouth. Like you have to snake through, and it's like a backdoor like secret society almost still. So
exactly. Yeah, everything, like some of it is kind of like underground, and like even if you do find somebody through word of mouth and whatnot, you tend to like want more and want something different. And in my experience, I've also like outgrown certain things that I've done from the beginning that are like no longer of interest to me, whether it's that individual that I was working with, like, all right, I already mastered like whatever I was working on with this individual, and and you know, we go really deep too, and it's really meeting everybody where they're at, which is super important. And there's a lot of terms like yoga and meditation that people have heard of, but newsflash, there's so much more out there that like people don't know. Even I don't know everything, you know, like like
I was explaining quantum meditation to some friends, and they were like, Adi, you face these like crazy trials, tribulations, and you're calm, and then you come out the other side stronger. What are you doing? And I was like, I close my eyes and I think of myself like 2-3 months into the future, and the outcome has already happened. Either the best thing or the worst thing has already happened, and I come back and give myself advice. And what is that advice? Like quantum meditation, where like you're leaping back and forth, like or maybe it's not called quantum meditation. I think it's called quantum meditation, where you picture your future self coming back and giving you advice, or like coming from a different universe, giving you advice based on being like an outsider watching everything. Yeah, but there's so many different ways that you can do meditation that can change your life. Because people are like, I hate meditation. It's like, well, sitting there and focusing on not thinking about anything isn't what everyone needs. Some people need, yeah.
Yeah. Like some of the experiences we had at the event over the weekend were like breath work. Sound healing was really beautiful. Like we had 2 different sound healing groups and practitioners. Even my mom, who like had no idea what she was walking into, and came to like a little thing that I did with one of the Healerverse practitioners locally last year, was like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's relatable to everybody. It's not like woo-woo, for lack of better terms. It's like there's, people know Joe Dispenza. There's a lot of little Joe Dispenzas running around doing other things that aren't as like media, like,
centric.
Yeah, and like out there, it's like in your local neighborhood.
Yeah.
Or virtually. So it's super cool. I'm excited for like, what that's all going to look like in the future as it continues to grow.
Breath work is a huge thing. I had to have a big spot of skin cancer removed yesterday. It was like this big.
Oh my.
From my ribs. So it like hurts to breathe every once in a while. But when she was putting the needle in, she had to put the needle in like, I don't know, 10 places to numb the whole area. And I was just like deep breathing in and out. And she was like, tell me when it gets too painful. But like just using breath work, like breathing in and out slowly, like I was able to handle her like putting the needle into all of the places. She's like, wow, you're really good at this. And I was like, that's breath work. And maybe having given birth to 2 children.
You're a legend. That's like the most like legendary thing that anybody can do.
Yeah. There's some doulas who are like, the only painkiller that they use with women is breath work. I was like, power to them. I had every painkiller there was.
Yeah.
The power of breath work. So Healerverse, this is, I think, huge. You verify practitioners and you ensure privacy. What's your approach to maintaining quality, credibility, and user trust on the platform?
So what's really interesting about us is that they fill out a really long form. We're not saying, oh, we suggest them or recommend them, but we're doing a manual verification process. They have to literally like fill in like a ton of questions and their ID and everything. And it's an internal process that we're not even using AI for. We'll probably implement AI into it soon, but not for the whole thing. It still has to be manually verified because we need to make sure that they are who they say they are. You know what I mean? Entirely. And we need to make sure that they have some kind of a presence, that they're reputable, that somewhere online it doesn't say that they've done so and so, such and such a thing. And we need to make sure for sure. Because it's like a badge of honor when they get that Healerverse badge, that basically they could go knock on corporate stores, they can like go places. And also we give them opportunities in the platform for like events and different opportunities that come our way. It is pretty interesting, all the opportunities that come our way from other communities and stuff that we present to them.
So it's like LinkedIn, but verified.
Yeah, it's like getting verified in Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn.
That's smart. That's huge, because there are a lot of people online who like to say that they're good at doing this, that, or the other thing. And
yes.
Some of the alternative forms of medicine and spirituality, they're very expensive, those treatments.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is to have someone that's selling you something that they have no idea what they're doing.
And also it happens on Instagram all the time that people will like poach people pretending to be somebody else, and people will pay them on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. They pay the person and it's not actually them. And then their money is gone and they're not getting what they signed up for. So that is protected through Healerverse as well.
That's smart. That's what were the biggest obstacles, tech, regulatory, cultural, that you faced while scaling Healerverse? You're thinking of like 15 off the top of your head. Okay, just give me like one or two.
I feel like my own growth journey, like, and also the tech has been like the most challenging part. Like really, I basically have become like a pretty like seasoned like tech person at this point, just because I went in full send. But I think too, it's the growth of that entrepreneur, and when I look back to the beginning of when I first had this idea, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just also want to like give a little hug to the entrepreneurs that are just getting started for the first time, because, and also I'm like psyched that I got this far, because it's like, it takes a lot longer than you think it's going to take, and it costs a lot more than you think it's going to take. I bootstrapped most of the company, 450,000. And then we did a little regulation crowdfund as well. And yeah, so like, it's just all of it. Like it's, you're in a rush and you're trying to get stuff done. And that's every day, all the time for years, trying to push the needle forward. And some days you're not going to go very far. Some days you're going to go backwards. It's really like, it's like everybody, if you're a startup founder, come to Healerverse. We have you.
Yeah. Right.
Definitely all of it. Really, it's been me. Honestly, I had to grow. I had to evolve.
Yeah. I know you only have 2 minutes left, so let's hop right down to, you allow people to license your software. What does that look like?
Yeah, so one of the most interesting things that's been coming up recently is for people to be able to license the software. The proprietary tech was built for practitioners to be able to manage their business in one place. But a lot of different event companies have been coming to me wanting to license the tech. If they do a multitude of events throughout the year, they could post all the event ticketing on there, because we built out a custom event ticketing platform just like Luma in Healerverse. And courses. Yeah, I have to show you a demo.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks like Facebook when you log in, like a social media platform. You could post on your feed, on your wall. Everything is shareable intra-platform and also outside to external sources. People can fill out their profile and be like, this is my Healerverse profile. And it's, private messaging in there, notifications, add people as friends, the whole profile feature. And then a lot of people, they want to license it for other industries as well as for their communities and events that they're doing and stuff like that.
So maybe we can embed into your page on 9x90 a walkthrough.
Sure. Yeah, great idea. Yeah, I love that. Brilliant.
People, you guys can see a walkthrough of what Healerverse is like if you're an end user versus if you're licensing it and planting it into your own company. We'll put both walkthroughs on there. I know you have to go because it's 2. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for your time. You're amazing. I'll see you in a few weeks.
I'll see you in New York. Well, we'll see you in Times Square. We're going to see your face in Times Square.
I know. That's because I'm speaking at NFT NYC and I'm emceeing. So they always put our picture on Times Square. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
It's the day after.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. We'll see you.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Yep.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.